it's not even about, before we get to the point, we have to understand what the reality is.
Yeah.
When Shedeur does anything, it's always critique.
At that position, no matter where you rank on any kind of depth chart as a quarterback, everything you do and say is a job interview. In the NFL, every moment. I think the second thing is this. That 30 or 40 seconds, Stephen A., while he may not be an immature person, that's an immature moment. It is. Because does that 30 or 40 seconds help you in your own building?
We'll see. Shedeur, I definitely believe it. Okay? All right.
Shedeur Sanders' controversies are just getting out of control once again, and this time, Shedeur is under fire for his mime interview. During this interview, he chose to communicate through gestures, indirectly referencing how whatever he says is likely to be twisted and used against him in the NFL. And honestly, he's got a point. The media frenzy surrounding him is once again escalating.
That Shedeur Sanders understands that every little thing he does is under a microscope because of who your dad is.
Let's get into it. As soon as the video went viral, the media frenzy escalated, and once again, Shedeur Sanders found himself facing mixed reactions from analysts and the press. However, Stephen A. Smith took a different approach, not criticizing Shedeur like most others. Instead, he offered some valuable advice. Stephen A. urged Shedeur to be aware of his unique position, stressing that everything he does will be under intense scrutiny due to his connection to Deion Sanders. He made it clear that Shedeur needs to understand the heightened attention and pressure that comes with being Deion's son in the spotlight. On the other hand, Dan Orlovsky didn't hold back when criticizing Shedeur Sanders, calling those 40 seconds of him miming immature. He pointed out that being a quarterback in the NFL is a tough job where every action is scrutinized and can be used against you. Orlovsky challenged Shedeur to think about whether those 40 seconds would actually benefit him in the long run, especially in terms of his growth and reputation within the team. He made it clear that the focus should be on what helps Shedeur's development, not on actions that might hinder it.
At that position, no matter where you rank on any kind of depth chart as a quarterback, everything you do and say is a job interview. In the NFL, every moment. I think the second thing is this. That 30 or 40 seconds, Stephen A., while he may not be an immature person, that's an immature moment. It is. Because does that 30 or 40 seconds help you in your own building?
Ryan Clark, however, took a more detailed approach, arguing that the backlash against Shedeur Sanders is unwarranted. He pointed out that Shedeur lacks the experience and a clear blueprint for how to act in these situations, as he's the only third-string quarterback in the league receiving media attention and being asked what he needs to do to become the starting quarterback. Clark emphasized that everyone should remember Shedeur is just a young quarterback under immense pressure from the media, and there's no reason to criticize him for handling things the way he has. Ryan Clark didn't stop there. He went on to say that Shedeur's actions are a natural reaction to being unfairly criticized. He explained that after facing so much scrutiny, Shedeur is simply responding to the pressure. Clark advised Shedeur to take a step back and assess the situation carefully, understanding the impact of his actions while navigating the intense spotlight. He encouraged him to remain focused on what really matters, and to consider the long-term effects of how he handles the criticism and attention.
There's also a part for Shedeur Sanders that all of this, the scrutiny, the way he's criticized, the wording that's used, is unfair to him.
And let's be honest, Clark has a point here because Shedeur Sanders has been under intense scrutiny for things that weren't really all that wrong. Recently, Shedeur made a bold statement, claiming that he believes he's better than some of the quarterbacks currently playing in the NFL. As expected, this didn't sit well with many people. The backlash was immediate, with critics quickly jumping in to blast him for having the confidence to make such a claim. It sparked a wave of negative reactions from those who felt he was overstepping his bounds.
Overall, this isn't my end goal, you know, like I'm just enjoying myself, learning, doing everything I have to do, and just ready for my opportunity.
Shedeur was simply trying to show that he's ready to compete, but the media took his comments in a much more aggressive way, even turning on him. Rex Ryan, for instance, called Shedeur out, suggesting that he wasn't working hard enough. What really stood out, though, was the tone Rex used. It wasn't a friendly or constructive critique. It was sharp, almost hostile, and seemed to be aimed at provoking a reaction. This wasn't just a simple criticism. It was more like an all-out attack. Naturally, this only intensified the controversy, adding more fuel to the already blazing fire surrounding Shedeur. Cam Newton also weighed in, stating that Shedeur is being treated unfairly and isn't wrong for questioning the way he's being treated. According to Newton, what's happening here is unprecedented. Shedeur is the first fifth-round, third-string quarterback in NFL history to receive such a massive outpouring of support from fans. Newton argues that this unexpected attention is exactly why there's so much scrutiny on him. He believes the attention, while supportive, has put Shedeur in a difficult position, making him a target for even more criticism and pressure. Cam Newton continued, saying that no matter what Shedeur Sanders does, whether it's justified or not, there's always an over-the-top level of criticism directed at him. Newton pointed out that this isn't the typical critique you'd expect for a rookie or young quarterback. Instead, it feels like something more intense and personal. He noted that the attacks against Shedeur are more aggressive than what any other player would face, even when he's making progress. Newton believes there's an underlying agenda being pushed against him, with the criticism going far beyond what is usually expected.
It's not even about, before we get to the point, we have to understand what the reality is.
Yeah.
When Shedeur does anything, it's always critique.
In conclusion, the situation surrounding Shedeur Sanders has become a perfect storm of media scrutiny, intense expectations, and over-the-top criticism. Shedeur, a young, talented quarterback with immense potential, has found himself in the crosshairs of both the media and former players who seem to have their own agendas. What started as a simple statement about his belief in his own abilities has spiraled into a full-blown controversy, with every action he takes being dissected and criticized. While Shedeur's confidence and belief in his abilities as a quarterback might be a natural reaction to the pressure he's under, it's clear that the level of scrutiny he faces is unprecedented. As Cam Newton pointed out, Shedeur is the first fifth-round, third-string quarterback to receive such an outpouring of fan support and media attention. This unique position has inevitably led to intense scrutiny, with every move he makes being critiqued more harshly than any other player in his position. Stephen A. Smith, Dan Orlovsky, and Ryan Clark have all offered valuable perspectives, urging Shedeur to assess his situation carefully and be aware of the added pressure that comes with being Deion Sanders' son. However, the criticism from figures like Rex Ryan, who have openly attacked Shedeur's work ethic, has only intensified the backlash. At the end of the day, Shedeur Sanders is a young player under a microscope, and while it's important to acknowledge that some of the criticism may be deserved, we must also consider the extraordinary pressures he faces. It's crucial for fans, analysts, and the media to remember that Shedeur is still developing both as a player and as a person. He deserves the space to grow, without the constant barrage of unreasonable attacks that seem to follow him at every turn. What do you think about the intense scrutiny Shedeur Sanders is facing? Do you believe the level of criticism he's receiving is fair? Or do you think he's being judged too harshly for just trying to prove himself? Is it possible that the media is blowing things out of proportion because of his connection to Deion Sanders? Or is Shedeur simply bringing this on himself with his bold statements and actions? Do you agree with analysts like Stephen A. Smith and Ryan Clark, who suggest he should be more mindful of the pressure he's under? Or do you think the criticism is justified? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below.